All right then. Hello everyone and welcome to the Season 10 reveal stream for New Era F1 Esports. It's not the 10th time we're doing this, Matt, but it's for the 10th season. Welcome back to the Season 10 intro. Thank you for joining me, Matty Adam 98.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. Another reveal stream. I'd say a lot more excitement in this one that we've had for quite a while. Um, I'm so ready for this season, man.
Yeah, so am I. Honestly, when we sat here, I don't know, was it season 2? Our first actual proper stream for it. Season 2, Season 3, something like that. Did you ever think we'd sit here for Season 10 and do the same thing on F125?
Yeah, about to say 5 game cycles down the line, 4 calendar years down the line. Um, there's two answers to that. In a way, yes. In the same way, no. I feel like the direction the league's gone has been so much better than, you know, in a way what we thought league racing was capable of. And obviously, before we even started, it's obviously just a massive feeling of pride as well that we're here for the 10th season, and obviously revealing quite a lot of special things.
Indeed, yeah. Obviously, the way this all started, I couldn't see us making leagues back then. They used to do 2, 3 seasons before they quite naturally folded. Admins lost interest. In our previous experience, they just disappeared as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, and you never saw leagues apart from the really big one because I believe there was WR and PSGL back in those days as well, weren't there? But there
yeah,
wasn't there wasn't any like long running leagues back then that there are now. So it, it's quite cool sitting here 10 seasons later, 5 years later, just thinking back to where I was in life. I was 18, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. 18, maybe even 17, and just so it's a completely different phase of my life than what it is now. We're still going.
yeah. I mean, I was 22, just about. Well, yeah, I was 22 at the time. Now I'm 26. Jesus Christ, why have we done this?
Indeed, all of us were in full COVID mode as well, weren't we?
Yeah, well, literally just at that point when we started New Era was about the time when Eat Out to Help Out happened. That was about the time frame. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
It is 5 years later, and still going strong. You and I, obviously, the two founding elements, brought on two more now. One of which has been here since season 1. The other coming in at season 6, if I'm not mistaken. Season 5, season 6, they're about. It's a lot of commitment, and we still have quite a few drivers back from the season 1, season 2 days as well, which is just unprecedented amount of dedication.
Yeah, and as well, just real quick, I want to shout out Ray, Noah for the subscriptions and the gifted subs. That's always massively appreciated as well. Just thought I'd get that shout out in.
Indeed, thank you very much to the both of you. All right then, do we get this party started? Quite a couple of people in the stream seems to be going on. Do you reckon we drag this out in the way that we usually do? We've
Yeah,
always
of
dragged these
course.
on to what's the last one? About 2 hours, I believe. We're
It
able to
was
drag this
close, yeah.
stream on.
And I'm just going to
Yes,
drag
close to
this
2 hours.
slightly longer as well because I missed the first one. Thank you, JMR, for the 23 months as well. Cracking stuff.
All right then. Do you reckon we get this party started and away from the reveal stream screen and onto some actual revealing and some actual discussion?
Yep, let's get it.
So, the first order of business is as well. Now that we're heading into a new season as well, a new era of new F1 esports. We've had the same logos ever since I believe the middle of season 1, the beginning of season 2, and they they've done a lot, but it's time to retire them now, isn't it, Maddie?
Yeah. They're very nice. Obviously, we know that we when we got them made for us, it was we felt that hyped. I remember it, and I think they've done us really good justice, and they've now ran the course. I think we need to um be able to take a little bit more creative control, especially now we're going into the next decade of seasons. I think it definitely makes sense.
Indeed, I just want to point out in chat as well. If I'm not mistaken, this is Tess's first reveal stream inside the league. You would have been here for the
Yeah,
last one,
it
wouldn't
would have
you?
been for the
I don't.
last one, yeah.
Yeah.
But just to
Tess, it
answer
absolutely
him,
can go on like
about
this,
to
and it
say,
can
yeah.
go on for a long time because we got quite a bit of stuff to go through before we get to the actual team unveilings.
No, I will say as many times as I need to, my friend. You're just gonna have to deal with it, lad.
Indeed, I would like to point out as well that Tess is one of 3 drivers that actually knows what team he's driving for next season, such as the perk of being the reigning NEF1 champion is you actually get to decide
Yep.
that yourself. So out of everyone with severe anxiety about where they'll be spending next year, Tess should have none.
Yeah. It's the same for myself and Squidge as well. We obviously know our teams. Um, However, we are completely blind for our teammates. We have no idea. Only
Indeed,
you know this.
I've done the magic as I usually have.
Yeah.
We'll see how it works out. Every now and again I get it really right. Every now and again I get it really, really, really wrong. Right then, back to the logos. Thank you very much to these logos for 4 years of brilliant service. And this just came on as a bit of a whim. Just one afternoon, we realized, okay, these are difficult to work with, and you just started an absolute overhaul of the main logo. And I must say, now switching over to what we came up with, you and I'm quite happy with it. Gone is the gold. Gone is the really dark navy. Gone to a more royal but still navy blue and a deep or a bit brighter deep yellow color as the accent, and it should be a bit easier to work with for us.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, when we did that afternoon, I remember I just started drafting the first one, and well, I can't remember what it was that you said. At first, you didn't like it, and I
I
remember,
was
but
really
that's
skeptical to
always the
begin
way.
with, but I've always been a bit of a control freak when it comes to design. I don't like anyone else touching it but me. Uh, but yeah, I must say, it came out decent, lad.
I mean, you definitely had your tweaks on,
Oh yeah, I
hundred
definitely
percent.
did.
It's not the exact same as when I made it. The font's been different. Obviously, we didn't know what we wanted to put in the middle at first.
How long did we spend on on deciding what we were gonna put in the middle?
Oh, in the middle. God, it was a good few hours.
Yeah, it was
It was
good for you.
overnight actually.
Yeah, that was an interesting night. It really was just
Hmm.
deciding what was gonna end up in that middle part, just behind the NEF1. Uh, took some good time, but just going back now to the old ones just for a second and going over to the new ones. I think it's a definite modernization on both logos, especially the one at the bottom there as well. I just think it's an improvement throughout, really. Should be easier to work with and looks more modern and more fast as well.
Yeah, and again, it gives us more creative control as well. Obviously, we had them made for us, so they came as they were. We couldn't do anything with them. So just having that little bit of control over it, it's going to be good. It's going to improve a lot of things as well
Does
in
this
terms
mean,
of graphic design.
indeed, does this mean you'll just purple convert him in a season or two's time when you reckon NEF1 turns purple again?
When we maybe when we bring in F2, we'll see. If we bring in F2, who knows?
We'll see, we'll see. Have you actually had it driven on F2 on this new F125 game?
Yeah, I did career mode. I've
What
only done one qualifying session.
What's your opinion on them, really, really quick? Because I have my quite strong opinion on them this game.
Not too bad. Quite fun to drive.
I thought they felt absolutely awful, but that's just me. And I did a couple of laps around Singapore as well, so I'm not gonna say I'm an expert on them. I've
Yeah, they just have a load of grip. That's all really. That's the only difference.
indeed, indeed, indeed. All right then, moving on to some actual discussion topics and not just promotional things and showing off our brand new toys. Let's go over and cover the Season 9 Drivers' Championship that you got on your screen now. And as you can see, it was in the end a relatively comfortable win for Tester, for Red Bull, on 339 points over Squidge 2017, with his first proper go at the championship, finishing his campaign on 261. But it was a relatively close title race, and they were very, very close on pace. Test just got the edge over Squidge in most of the race, should be said.
Yeah, just quickly, so just to answer your question, JMR, it was Canva that we used. Um, but yeah, it was just consistency over the whole season, really, for Tez. Obviously, he had his moments, but he's just always there. That's we knew this going into the season anyway, when he's just showed his blinding pace at the end of season 8. But then, yeah, he just took it to another level. Nathan, sorry, Squidge, obviously got pretty close, but he just had a few hiccups here and there, and I think that's the main thing, and missing a couple of races as well.
Indeed, obviously that doesn't happen. I believe Squidge was gone for the day that the championship was settled. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
But for the Qatar race, I think it was where we crowned Test the NEF1 champion of Season 9. But just looking at this championship in general, it is quite a normal championship, by the way. If you look at previous NEF1 standings history, it's about the same level of points that we've usually seen. The top 7 usually gets into that 100 mark. 8th, 9th, and 10th usually end up a bit behind. And then there's always that gap between P10 and P11. And also quite a lot of people this season ending the season without a single point score. That's Kit, Ipsdude, Jay, and Hybrid, 2 of which are carrying over into this season. I will discuss that in a little bit. Obviously, when we get to the actual announcing. But is there anything in particular when you look at this championship that just draws your eyes there?
I mean, there's no gaps that absolutely scream out as being big. You know what I mean? Everyone's had some air of consistency about them, even if it does come to the unfortunate part of not scoring any points. But new game, F125, newly so life for these drivers maybe. It could be their game where they actually find seconds of pace. The handling model feels so much nicer as well compared to the last game. Like the last game was decent towards the last part of its life. That start, it was just the weirdest thing we've ever had the displeasure of driving. Um, but this new game, the handling is top notch. In my opinion, I love it. And it's going to be the same, I reckon, for a lot of other drivers as well, especially those ones that are sitting a bit further down in the previous championship. They'll want to basically use it to their advantage as well.
Indeed, and obviously I don't have the same driver's perspective as what obviously everyone watching this stream does. But it feels like just driving on this new game that it is going to be one of those games that just equals everything out just that little bit. And bring those guys that are a bit further back into the fold a little bit more. It's a bit easier to get a grip off, but I imagine it's actually harder to get really, really good on, unless the game really suits you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go too far into what I feel the mechanics. Obviously, I've got my own interests to protect here, but we'll see on the preseason tests. We'll see if there's anything we can divulge because obviously by then we'll have had a little bit more time to play the game between now and then as well. So
Yeah, it is gonna be an entrance season. I do want to give a massive shout out to 2 people, especially just looking at this graphic though. The first one is Ondrejek, coming in quite late as well, and getting up to 134 points is an absolute brilliant job from Ondrejek there, coming in for Williams. So we'll discuss that when we move over to I can't speak today. When we move over to the constructor standings, we'll discuss that even further. Obviously, what we're going to be talking about. But as well, the guy that came up in 7th place is Samo Bamo, who just had a brilliant season for what we're expecting of what we'd seen from him previously. Samo definitely should be one of the drivers of the season. Definitely.
oh yeah, 100%. I mean, the new internet he got between well before Miami, that's that's where I think the actual the major step up happened. He was dealing with really bad desync, really bad lag, screen freezes, all that unfortunate stuff. But then the moment he got his new Wi-Fi in, he had ridiculous download speeds, good internet, and then he's up there again, first podium ever in the league. And now as well at the end, he's got himself his first century of points. Like if you look at this from previous championships as well, it's a night and day improvement.
Indeed, it is. And I do want to point out as well that outscoring drivers like JMRI Watanabe by 20 to 30 points, that is obviously these drivers were locked into a season long battle. Outscoring them by that much, it's not a point here or there. It's quite a lot of point over. It's quite a lot of points over a lot of races, and that's not easy to do at all.
That's what I mean. We're talking about people that have been previously in championship fights. Obviously, myself, back in the PF1 days with iWatts, we were locked in a really tight championship fight until the finale of that season, and beating, especially like say the likes of Noah, iWatts, Jamar, that's no small feat. He's done really, really well, and he should be proud of himself.
Indeed, it's a massive shout out to Sam Obama, and hopefully can keep that rate of improvement up for next season as well. And it's going to be really, really interesting. Moving on to the constructors' standings, then we'll go through that and let's see how long we can drag that out for. Sure, there's a couple of people in chat right now just screaming at us to actually get to the unveiling, but we're going to wait a little bit further.
But I say we'll get there eventually. We'll get there eventually. Don't you worry.
Indeed, and this battle was, when you look at it like this, it's actually really tight as well between Williams and Red Bull that technically went down to the wire as well. The championship was actually settled in the penultimate race, then unsettled in the steward's room, and then settled again a couple of days after on track at the final race in Bahrain.
Yeah, obviously the way you have to do league racing, post-race penalties come a couple of days after, so it's not the same as obviously like in real life where they can put a penalty on 10 minutes after the race ends or as soon as the race ends. We have to do it 2 days or 3 days after the race, and then obviously the viewers don't know until the next race. So
Indeed, I remember
it's
announcing that on stream that the championship was now technically open again, and for a while in that final race, Red Bull were actually massively outscoring Williams as well. Not by the extent that
yeah.
it had to actually seal the championship, but to the point where it would tighten up. But then I believe both Squidge and Undercheck managed a very, very decent result. Undercheck with good strategy as well. And in the end, 439 points to 414. But it must be discussed as well how that championship battle swung when Ondrejek came into that Williams team, and discussed 134 points in not too many races is really what made the difference.
Yeah, it's a very, very Ondrejek thing to do. He'll every time he comes back into the league after, say, a prolonged absence after the last time, it's due to injury, which obviously we're very happy that he's had a good recovery and he's back in. He just goes wild and scores a mass of points, even when the competition is stiffened. Obviously, back in season 8, it was his 8 race win streak. As much as it's a good thing, I'm obviously a little bit salty about that because it beats my win streak, my previous record. Um, but yeah, obviously it wasn't quite an 8 race win streak this time, but still, scoring an immense amount of points, playing a really good team game as well with his teammate Squidge.
Indeed, it could have been more points. Should be mentioned. Gave up a race win, I believe, Portugal, just to give Squidge the best opportunity. He had to fight for the drivers' championship as well. So that 134 points for Undercheck very well could be up into 140s to 150s.
Oh, 100%.
So it's a massive job for Undercheck. Then looking down a bit further, are there any team that sticks out in another way? I'd kind of want to point out two teams here. Both Ferrari and Alpine maybe just underperforming a little bit from what we expected of them this season. I thought they were going to be a bit further up there, especially that Alpine lineup with a Djokovic that for the first time in NEF1 went winless over the course of the season, and a Wigan who just never settled into the Alpine car and couldn't get out of the bottom half of the table, unusually for Wigan 71.
Yeah, I mean, even on equal cars, there's still a slight bit of difference between them. That 2024 Alpine, especially on the game, was it just wasn't it. Has somehow managed to do something with it at the end of season 8. but realistically, it was a boat, even on equal cars. Um, and it just shows as well, like the previous season on the same game, this team lineup won the championship. So it does kind of show the difference in the cars, even when it is set to equal. But I mean,
Indeed,
yeah,
and it's
they
just
made
even
it.
if this not a performance thing, it's an engine noise thing. It's a look thing. The car's gonna look
Yeah,
different. You're gonna have different vantage points. You're gonna hear different things, and that really does affect you. I know I've always done much better in Ferrari-powered cars. I just vibe with the engine sound, and I understand where to actually gear shift. As if you put them in a Red Bull, I've never really gone used to it, and that's from F1 21. It still carries through now into F1 2024. I've not done too much F1 25 yet, but
yeah. I mean, for me, obviously I started out in Honda Power, so it was I have an affinity with the Honda Power cars anyway. More the sister teams of Red Bull, what name it decides to have whenever. But I don't mind a Ferrari car, and obviously last season I was in Mercedes as well. That was a pretty big, what's the word? I would say change, pretty big change to have to get used to, especially at the start of the season. It's quite a weird thing. I've only raced in a Mercedes engine once before that, so it was quite difficult at first.
indeed. So a difficult season for both Alpine and Ferrari. Nassi van withdrawing with a couple of races to go, but still appearing on this championship shot. And Noah for the last 3-4 races carried the torch by himself, and that ended up being a very very close battle in the end with Aston Martin and Alpine not far behind either. Looking down just a bit further as well, should point out all 72 points by McLaren was scored by one driver. That was SFL by Jamar. So it's a very, very good job from him not actually ending up behind Haas as well and actually challenging RB somewhat. Which is in the same situation as well, where Samo scored 100% of those points. Uh, Difficult season again for Sauber.
Yeah, I mean it was another sort of tail of the tape issue. You have drivers on paper can really do a bit on a race day. Um, but then again, like you say, with potential engine noise changes, just a general vibe around the car as well. That needs to be said, especially because you don't pick your teams unless you're in the top three. So you could be putting a team that you necessarily don't like the look of, and you've just got to get on with it. Like that's just one of the things. And who's to say that Darren and AB just did not like that livery with the Sauber? That's just one of them as well. And the engine sound, everything plays a role, especially when it comes to equal cars, because again, you just have a lot of different things to gauge, as I would say.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that it always goes on with that Sauber as well. It's not broken out of the bottom three in the standings. So I believe season two, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I am. But it's one of them as well where BT, even though we know the potential he has. Same with Darren Stahl. Now we've seen it before. He is able to compete for high points. Same as BT is able to compete for poles and wins on his day. Uh, 23 points scored between them just says something about how difficult of a season that was. And also, just looking at this top five in the championship and just looking at the drivers there, how difficult it is to even break into that top 10 to actually score points now. It is so incredibly difficult that I'd love to see what happens if you'd give, for example, the top 12 points in this championship and just see how it changes.
Yeah, I mean, the word consistency will be thrown about a lot more as well, because you'll have those drivers that always sit in like P11, P12, like you said. They'll have a points tally, and you'll actually see what they can do as well, and like how consistent they are.
Indeed, it is one of them that we're going to keep an eye on for next season to see how it progresses. Because once again, breaking into the points could be difficult. But that is one of those things that we'll just have to wait and see how the new game races, how it handles, and how everyone gets on with it. But do you have any closing remarks on the constructors, or should we get on with the actual unveiling of things?
Um, no, I'm quite happy to get on with it.
Indeed, then we say congratulations to our two champions for season 9. We have Tess And we have Williams Racing consisting of Squidge, Ondrechek, and an honourable mention to Spenclose 64 as well. Alright then, moving on to the first piece of Season 10 information that is just highlighting what is going to be happening over the next couple of days. Obviously, you are watching the NEF1 launch stream right now that is taking place on June the 2nd at 8 p.m. We're half an hour past that already, and we've not said anything yet that anyone is going to deem interesting whatsoever. I feel like we're doing quite well, Matty. How about you?
Oh yeah, I mean we love a good ramble, don't we?
Indeed. Right then, so the stuff that are going to happen over the next couple of days. Tomorrow at 8 p.m., we're going to be launching 2 practice sessions after each other. The first one around Abu Dhabi at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. The following one at Spain from 9:20 p.m. to 10:20 p.m. So that's about the same length as your average NEF1 race session. It's going to be 2 practice sessions, no qualifying, no races, just get up to speed with the cars. That's going to be tomorrow then, Tuesday, June the 3rd. Then, testing day 2 on June the 5th, that is Thursday this week at 8 p.m. again. We are going to have 2 practice sessions around Silverstone Reverse between 8 and 9 p.m. and then closing in to Bahrain on at 9:20 p.m. to 10:20 p.m. That is all UK time as well, should be mentioned. All sessions will be streamed on Twitch. With hopefully, if we can get it working, guest commentary. Right now, it's a bit uncertain. We found out how we have to do it, but we've got to get everyone on board with it.
Yeah, I just put the announcement out a few minutes before the stream started. So if you have a PC or a mobile device, it would be good to install Xbox Game Bar on the PC and the Xbox mobile app. That way, if you already have a profile and you're just not on the platform anymore, like myself, you can still join an Xbox Live party, which is where Savars hosts his streams. That'll be the only way to be able to get you into guest commentary or interviews.
Indeed, unfortunately, no way to get the Discord party chat through an Xbox stream, unfortunately, and I'm still streaming everything on Xbox. And I reckon that PC stream, unfortunately, is never coming for me either. I've been nagged to death about it over the last 24 hours since we realized this. But for the time being, we're staying on Xbox. But that is what's going to be happening over the next couple of days. So on Thursday, then, we'll be closing out the practice sessions in Bahrain, which coincidentally is also where we are heading in 1 week's time to start the NEF1 Season 10 Championship, because right in front of you now is the Season 10 calendar. Bahrain to start off the season. We're closing the season in the United Arab Emirates around Abu Dhabi on October the 6th. It's a long season, this. 18 races spanning June to early October.
Yeah, funnily enough, me and Noah were having this conversation not too long ago, how crazily quick season 9 went.
Indeed,
And
it
it was
went very
actually over
quick.
5 months. That's crazy.
Was it really 5 months?
Yeah, January to May.
That is actually insane. Yeah, that is actually insane. Now that we're
And
now
it
that we're
felt like
talking
2
about it.
minutes. Like I was saying this to my former teammate as well, Mr. Wilco, in the Aston Martin. It felt like only a couple of weeks ago when we got him into the league, and we spoke for the first time in a few years. It, it it's it really is mad how quick time goes now.
Yeah, it just flies by at this pace. Just looking at this calendar as well, what sticks out? What are you most looking forward to? Opening at Bahrain, followed by Saudi Arabia, Miami, the first mandatory 2-stopper of the season at Vegas, and then on to Australia as the opening 5 races. A couple of reprofiled circuits there, 3 of them being LiDAR scanned as well, so we're doing those quite early, and those tracks should all be really good for racing, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, look at Japan. Just obviously, I know it's later on in the calendar, but
Massively
my
improved, yeah.
God, is that
Massively
track
improved.
beautiful to drive now? it had its flaws. I've always enjoyed Japan, but it had its flaws in previous games. But now with that, with those LiDAR scans, it's so much wider. It will just open up a lot more avenues for overtaking, and hopefully will make the race a lot more entertaining. I know, obviously, you've not really sang its praises over the last few years
I am on
because
this
of it
game. I
being,
am on this game.
yeah,
Now,
with the
I've
five
done
lappers
about
we've done.
10 laps on it, and
Yeah,
I actually really, really like it. So that is props to Japan, and that one change has actually kept it on the calendar for me. If I had 100% executive power, which I don't on the calendar, it has to be approved by you guys, obviously.
yeah,
Uh, but I want to point this out to everyone. Practice for the first five, because round six is gonna be a difficult one. Monaco, a mandatory two-stop race. That's issued by EA in the game, as per the actual regulations. This is a mandatory two-stopper. Round six in July. Then we're heading to Monaco again. That could be very. That could be very, very special.
yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking as well that back to the time when we did our first event around Monaco, and it was actually one of the best races we've ever done, like in terms of driver standards, cleanliness of overtakes and everything as well. Overtakes, I know, because I actually happened to be a victim of one into the Nouvelle game by one ABT. Like, obviously, the tire difference was gargantuan, but even still, I don't know. Still to this day, I do not know how he got that car stopped in time. I thought he was
Yes.
going straight over the chicane.
That was a very good race, followed by unfortunately a less successful event about a season
Yeah,
later, which didn't work as well. I can assure you this race will be ran in daytime as well. It
yes.
won't be a night race as the unsuccessful one was. We'll see how it works, and hopefully everyone has the driver skill to navigate that circuit. Start practicing that early. Uh, After that, we have Great Britain, Austria, and Netherlands for the middle part of the season. Three circuits which offer something very, very different to each other. None being quite similar at all. Great Britain, obviously, very, very fast, very technical. Austria, bit of an oversized go-kart track. Netherlands is going to be a proper driver's track, because if you nab a wheel in that gravel on this game, you're spinning around. There's no catching it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a, how do I put it, race car driver versus Sunday driver kind of track. It really does separate the skill gap, let's put it that way.
Indeed. So Netherlands is going to be a difficult one. I'm really looking forward to round 10, and I think you can imagine why. That is the one that I have complete decisive control over, and no one is going to know where we're heading before, well, before we get started. No one will have any single idea for the Mystery Grand Prix, and that can be any track on the game. It can be any track on the calendar that we've already done, that we will do. It could be Netherlands reverse, for all intents and purposes. And it will be a mandatory two-stop race where I also have complete control of the weather. So that's going to be
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it, Matty?
I'm shown by last season's Mystery Grand Prix where you had Qatar in pouring conditions. Started out very changeable. It was actually extremely fun to drive in the wet. Like, we'd never normally experience that, so it was
Indeed, I
actually
was quite
quite fun.
disappointed as to how well it went.
That's so you were expecting pure chaos and people spinning out and having problems, but it's actually really nice to drive.
Everyone was probably so careful that nothing happened.
I mean, not speaking for the others, but I wasn't. I was trying. I was proper going for it.
Yeah, it was a fun event to see. It was, and Qatar in the rain actually really worked as well. I didn't think it would. We didn't have much overtaking, mind you, around Qatar in the rain, but it wasn't one of the races it was meant for. It was meant to throw people off and see who had actually really done their work. And I don't think
Yeah.
anyone practiced for Qatar in the rain ahead of that one, did they?
No, no, you couldn't have predicted it.
Indeed, and racing still haunts me to this day, and that is completely understandable. The
I
Mystery
mean,
Grand
he got
Prix.
a brilliant start.
I
Like
yeah.
starting on the mediums when I was on the hards, he got past me within a corner. So
And Kit is saying, stop saying it was fun, he'll do it again. We'll wait and see. How about some Netherlands reverse in pouring rain and sunset conditions, just to make the visibility a bit poorer?
oh no. I mean, it'll be
Okay.
fine for us PC users because we can turn off particles. We don't get spray.
Oh, that is a bit of a cheat. I can't lie. All right, then the Mystery Grand Prix is followed by a double header in Italy, first at Emilia Romagna and then Monza at August 25th. Moving then to Qatar, Japan, and Singapore, and now we're heading into the end of the season as well, with almost a usual closing month of Texas, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi, which have provided the best finales, really, Abu Dhabi, when it's been working.
Yeah, I mean, again, the end of season 8, I found out quite apparently that it didn't work very well. I mean, it was a game. It was sorry, not a game. It was a glitch that lasted for many game cycles, which was extremely frustrating. With it invalidating laps and giving you track limits warnings just when you entered the pit lane. But it looks at the minute like it has been fixed. I've done a few trial runs, but only on time trials, so I can't say for definite. But I will be practicing that, especially come pre-season testing.
Indeed, and if we notice that that glitch is still there, we'll probably just be waiting a little bit to see if it gets fixed, but we'll have a plan in order by the Mystery Grand Prix if not, and we'll be doing some
Yeah,
minor swapping around to make sure we have as good a calendar as we can, and getting a different final race, because obviously the final race, if we have a championship side event, needs to go off without a hitch.
yeah,
Alright then, that is the first bit of revealing done for Season 10. It's a brand new look for the calendar as well, trying something a bit different, and you'll see that in the championship graphics as well now that they've been filled in. But overall, on the Season 10 calendar, between a 1 and 10, what would you rate it out of 10? 10 being the best we've done so far.
I would say in terms of variety, it's definitely up there. Well, we've got more of the difficult tracks, bringing back Monaco, Netherlands. That those two have been a miss for a couple of seasons. It's nice to see them back. Obviously, you've got Imola for the same reason. Really technical, twisty track, which demands a lot of mental skill as well as physical skill on the game. Obviously, your returning favourites, your Great Britain, my personal favourite, of course, Saudi Arabia, and a growing favourite of mine, Qatar, as well, for obvious reasons. Obviously, I
Indeed.
love Singapore as well, and Brazil.
All tracks that you've recently won at. Who
Yeah,
could have
of course.
imagined that? Who could have imagined that? Are the wins starting to come a bit too scarcely now, Matty? Did you start loving the tracks that you win at?
I know the especially like Singapore. I didn't really used to rate Singapore before I won at the end of season 8, and now I love it.
We'll see how you feel about it come September 16th, and it'll be
Yeah,
interesting.
see.
Indeed. Right then, so let's get to the actual revealing, the part that you've come for. We've kept them waiting for 42 minutes right now. Do we blab on for another 10, or do we actually get to it, Matty?
You know what? I think 3/4 of an hour is enough. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. And first to the
Chopping block,
chopping
would you
block.
say?
Yeah, first to the chopping
Yeah.
block is gonna be none other than our reigning NEF1 champion, Tess. Now, sporting number 77 had to change because a certain Ollie Behrman decided to nap his 87 out from beneath his feet, unfortunately. Which is always one of those things that's a big shame when it actually happens in real life, that someone just nabs your driver number. But nothing can be done about it. So Tess, number 77, before we get into his team reveal and everything, he already knows where he's going to be, so he could technically spoil it in chat. Please don't. What are your expectations for Tess heading into this season on this new game? Reigning champion, it's the first time he's got to defend the championship. But he feels rock solid, doesn't he, Tess?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm not Tez, but if I were, and I've just come off that such a well, I wouldn't call it extremely dominant, but very convincing championship win, you'd only try and defend it. That would be your goal, at least to get a good few wins and challenge for it. I mean, that'd be the minimum, really, in my opinion.
Indeed, and I'd have to agree. He should be challenging in that top three. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't lead it at one point throughout the season. The thing with Tess is he can make mistakes as well. We saw that a couple of times over the course of the season. Miami and Portugal coming to mind. But he doesn't make mistakes solely off of being put under pressure, does Tess. Those mistakes come quite naturally, but he doesn't crack, which is something that's going to be incredibly important now that we might be heading into what I feel like could be a bit of a more competitive championship between quite a couple of drivers, hopefully. And that's going to be really in Tess's favour, the fact that he doesn't seem to let the pressure get to him at all.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, when the pressure seems to be more off of him, that's when the mistakes can happen. Obviously, we see that with quite a few drivers, but when he had his mistake in Portugal, I personally knew that he didn't like Portugal. He obviously knows he doesn't like Portugal. I bet he's absolutely buzzing now that it's not in the game anymore, that he doesn't have to drive it again.
Indeed, otherwise, I should point that out. Portugal would be on the calendar if it was on the game.
Oh,
I'm very,
100%.
very upset that they've taken it away. But yeah, Tess definitely one of my favorites for the championship again. He'll be up there. He'll be battling for wins straight off the bat.
Yeah, he can't not be considered a favourite after his performance last season.
Indeed. So then, obviously, we in the admin team know what team he's driving for. You don't. Tess is moving to Mercedes AMG Petronas for season 10 then. It just feels like a good fit as well. It was really, really good to Red Bull, but the move to Mercedes, nah, just uh,
It's
just hard to turn down when he got the opportunity to go to his what I believe is his favorite team, isn't it?
Yeah, and in F1 terms, it's like moving from United to City. So it's literally like only a few players have done that in real life. He's like the Carlos Tevez of New Era.
Oh, here we go with the football references. Nah, it is an exciting move. It's going to be good to see Tess in that Mercedes as well. Just feels like it suits him, Tess. Uh, it's going to be very, very fun to see what he can do. So Tess is the first confirmed driver this season. He's going to be racing for Mercedes-AMG Petronas for season 10, trying to secure them a championship on both sides of it, both the drivers and the constructors. Moving on to the next driver, and I should point out we're doing this differently than we've done before because the driver coming up now is not necessarily going to be Tessa's teammate. The next driver on the chopping block, then, if we go by that aneurysm, is going to be Squidge 2017, sporting the number 69 from the UK. The championship runner-up, who also got to select his own team, should be said. The only team that wasn't available for him was Mercedes' Tess, got to pick that first. And Squidge, he really also had a breakout season, didn't he? First season in championship contention, showed what he could do, 3 or 4 race wins under his belt. It's just a good performance throughout, but just lacking at a place over, and that did cost him in the end.
Yeah, I mean, the jump in form from season 8 to season 9, like we were speaking about Zamo earlier on, it was night and day. And it was obviously from my perspective as a fellow driver, it was quite frustrating because it was those times where I could have really capitalized on him not being as good as he is and get a win where he just didn't finish second. Yeah, it got me to the point where I felt like I was going to go winless that season.
Indeed, usually comes strong at the end. Squidge, however, feels like it came strong on the start. And then maybe faded away a little bit towards the middle of the season, then came strong at the end as well with a couple of good results. But
Yeah.
for Squidge then, who's now established himself as the top driver in NEF1, from what I'm feeling, he's even better on this new F125 game. Is he setting that like baseline expectation? Is he going in this with a "I will be champion" mentality now? Is that where
I
he needs
mean,
to put his head on?
yeah, I completely agree. I don't see why he wouldn't. He's clearly shown he's capable. So, from again talking from a driver's perspective, you've just come off a really good season. I don't see why it can't get better.
Indeed. So, really, I'd say almost pressure off for Tess a little bit. Maybe fully pressure on Squidge 2017 for this season. Would you kind of agree with that?
I mean, also he'll know his expectation, but I wouldn't like to say it'd be pressure on, but he'll know how badly he wants it.
Indeed, I'll be expected to perform straight off the bat coming out of the last season. That's for sure, at least.
Yeah, yeah, you'd expect a good performance.
We'll wait and see what is in line for Squidge 2017 then. With his new team, he has selected, as well should be said, to go back to where I believe it started for him in NEF1. He is heading for Scuderia Ferrari. Uh, and it just feels right, Squidge and Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean it's the first team we saw him in. It's like, it's like me and the RBs, it's where we started. It will always, in a way, be home in this league. You'll always kind of have the thought of every season if you finish in the top three, do I pick my first team again? Obviously, he's done it this time, and we'll see if it was a good choice or not.
Indeed. So, Tess in the Mercedes, Squidge in the Ferrari. Moving on to the third driver to be presented then. It is none other than yourself, Matty Adam 98. So, top three in the championship can't pick the same team, can't be teammates. You've gone for something completely different. We'll discuss that in a little bit. But if you was to just summarize your season 9, how would you put a couple of words on it?
Um, Gradual improvement. If I had two words, obviously the other drivers in the top three with me were, I would say, sympathetic at the start, I reckon. Obviously, I don't know exactly how they felt about me at the start of the season, but I wasn't there at that point. I was struggling with obviously the new change, going from a Ferrari engine to a Mercedes engine. I was struggling, and I'll admit that. But I was doing a couple of things wrong, and a couple of the lads came in and gave me a couple of pointers, which I'll forever appreciate because it's really helped me. I'm looking at mainly Tez in this. Obviously, I'm not going to divulge the advice he gave me, but it really, really helps. And that's what I mean. It doesn't matter your experience level. Obviously, this is my 10th season in this league, and there's always more things to learn. That's why the league's so good in the sense of like you can bring in new people, and that to you obviously are rookies, but then they'll have loads of nice little tidbits of information for you that you had no idea.
Indeed, and obviously the season came strong in the end, actually managing a top three, which a bit on and off throughout the season, but you always somehow managed to get there by the end, no matter how shaky the start of the season it was, because it wasn't great the results to begin with.
No.
Came strong in the end, 2 wins back to back, if I'm not mistaken, as well, to almost see out the season again. Uh, you do you feel like you have any momentum carried through into F125 with those wins?
I mean, of course, it's going to be sort of, I don't know if you class it as momentum, but what would do it, aspiration, or I'm trying to think of the word. It's close to aspiration, but um, you want to improve. You always want to, you know, take your lap times just a little bit lower, make sure that you're staying a little bit more consistent on track. Just looking where you've gone wrong in previous seasons, previous races, at previous tracks, and trying to pick apart those performances, trying to find any kind of tenth of improvement, especially in qualifying, because that was my main issue last season was qualifying pace.
And that picked up
It,
towards the end of the season as well with the results,
yeah,
didn't it?
and that was also thanks to Squidge with his advice as well. Like I say, the two drivers in the top three offered a nice little bit of advice. It wasn't really game-changing advice, like things that other drivers won't know, but it was something that I'd kind of fallen out of and then stopped. Almost was a bit ignorant to it a little bit, which obviously was a big mistake. But in the end, it came good and it got me 2 wins where I thought I was going to go winless. So I genuinely cannot complain about last season. It was a learning season for me, more of a teething set of 18.
Well, if it's a learning season, then I'm expecting good things. So I'm taking the role of an interview now, and I'm going to ask you this very, very rude question that I'm sure you
Okay.
won't want to answer. Matty Adam 98, not a champion since season 2. Can you win the championship in season 10?
Never say never. That's my answer.
Never
Never
say.
say never. I will certainly try. That is all I'm going to say. Do I expect it 100%? Not right now. I mentioned this to you before. Like, I want to build momentum. That's my main thing. Once I've got momentum behind me, I feel like I can do a good job. But if it starts shaky again, it's it will admittedly be difficult mentally. That's one thing that I struggle with, especially on track, is that um mental side when it comes to like frustration. A lot of the time I don't vocalize it, but obviously it's part of everybody. It's how it works, especially when you're in a pressure cooker environment like this. But yeah, I just want to build momentum, see how the first few races go, and I will come back to you on that one.
Indeed. So Matty Adam 98 and feeling relatively strong for next season. Where is he going to be performing these results that is needed to challenge for the championship? It is going to be none other by a choice again. Alpine is where Matty Adam is ending up, and you've actually had a strategy kind of for why you've picked Alpine as well. That's a bit funny considering how long you've been in this league now.
I mean, I must have told you, but because I'm excited, I've completely forgotten what that strategy is. No, but there's for me, there is always something about there's just something about a pink Formula One car that does something to like visually for me. Like it just looks really nice. I know it's not all pink. I love a pink Formula One car. I used to love um when it changed when the Force India went pink in 2017.
Oh,
It was my
those were
favorite team.
horrid, mate.
I know you didn't like them, but it
Those
was
were
the early days. But I just
horrendous.
liked there was just something about a pink Formula One car. It was nice. And then obviously they made the livery go a lot nicer in the next few years and then went to Racing Point. The pink Mercedes is one of my favorite cars in terms of looks in the modern era. I love it, especially that 2020 pink Mercedes. That was beautiful. And then obviously we had smatterings of pink in um, the next few seasons, but nothing really jumping out. So the Aston Martin in 2021 had a little pink stripe. It looked like a kind of silver Silvercrin hairspray. 24 Alpine tried to put a bit of pink on it, but absolutely failed because it was just 99% carbon fiber. And now they've released this absolute beauty, in my opinion, of a car. And as soon as I got in top three, my my choice was already made. Obviously, I wanted to try and what's the word? Throw people off the scent. Obviously, they saw that picture that I put into the announcements tab in the Discord. Um, Now, funny story about that because Tez was trying to do his detective work and he said to me, there is absolutely no way you've edited this image. I masked the Alpine logo on the wheel covers and I remember you even talking about it.
Ah, oh, sneaky, sneaky bastard. Sneaky bastard.
I got in my bag with that one with photo editing and blurring and all sorts of stuff.
But the Alpine went for season 10. Hopefully that team now as well gonna get back to the front of the field. We'll wait and see. But it's a very nice looking car to have battling at the front again. If it can be there, but I'm expecting it will be.
I
Right then.
certainly hope so.
Indeed. Right then, moving on to the next driver up for the chopping block then, that is our scrutiny. And this is a driver I'm really excited about. It is none other than Luna, sporting number 13, formerly Alpaca, should be mentioned. And this is a driver that I can really see improving over the course of this season as well. A lot of improvement last season from when she first came into the league to where she did the last race pace-wise. Uh, and the points really, they racked up.
Yeah, I mean, what I like about Luna, especially when it comes to driving, is that what's the what's the phrase I want? It's like this airing sense of a bit of volatility, unpredictability, pace. Like you have to really think when you're racing them, and that's the main thing. Like it's something we've not had in the league for quite a while. Like obviously, there's a lot of perfect respect that goes so far in terms of entertainment, but that little sprinkle of aggression and a little bit of volatility in there, it really does throw some good mental games up, and it was really fun racing against them last season with that challenge.
Indeed. So Luna is bit of a weird situation for this season. I could see it go either way with the drivers that have come in, with how I believe most people are going to be improving. I expect it to take a couple of steps forward. Uh, about how do you think she's going to progress on this brand new game that generally is a bit easier to drive, isn't it?
I mean, from what I've seen from them in F125 so far, it's been a positive improvement already from my own personal standpoint, just watching. But I mean, I don't know personally if that's track dependent or if it's over like the complete over every track. I don't actually know. Well, that's one thing we're going to have to find out. I have no idea at this point. Preseason testing might show a bit, unless they try to sandbag. I know some drivers will do. I'm looking at you, Tez. Um, but yeah, we'll find out on that one.
Indeed. So then, drum rolls please. Luna, you are going to be driving for season 10 in the Sauber Ferrari, the black and green screamish car, and trying to do what basically everyone has failed to do. It's not a thankful job getting in this car in new era, but I have full faith that this lineup that is in Sauber for this season, looking at the driver coming up a bit later as well, is going to be able to propel Sauber up the order quite substantially to a very, very solid midfield team.
Just to answer Luna, you're not doomed. I reckon it's actually a really good challenge. I think it'll be quite easy to get Sauber off of that bottom place in the championship. It's actually quite a nice car to drive game. Like I've done a few stints on it in the five lappers we've done. I enjoy it. It's actually pretty nice. So I think you'll have a good time. Don't worry about it.
Indeed. So, Luna, number 13 from Spain, heading for Sauber for next season. Moving on then to the next driver is going to be none other than Kit W41, a driver who is starting to show the pace more and more, but just wasn't able to get those points per performances on the board last season. However, P11 and P12 are very, very frequent late on during last season, weren't they? A couple of good qualifying. I was about to say Q3 appearances, not done that in a while. A couple of good qualifying performances as well, breaking into the top 10. But those points were just a bit too much last season. I think he'll only go upwards from here.
Yeah, I agree. The only way's up. He's done. I know he's got some new techniques. Would the right word be? I'm not actually sure. He should be scoring some points this season. Obviously, I think that's the main goal for him. And I will just put this in. He has been stressing. Oh, since we put the reveal schedule on a few weeks ago in the driver chat, he's been stressing about what team he's going to drive for. One team specifically has been shouted out a lot because he has an affinity with it. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not segueing into his team.
Yeah, now
Um,
it should be
but
worth pointing out. Matty has no clue now
yeah,
that we passed him in Alpine. Matty has no clue where anyone's headed.
yeah.
It's
I
just
I
me.
I only knew um the top three and their teams. So I only knew myself, Squidge, and Tez. They're the only drivers I knew where they were going because obviously I have to know as part of the admin team. So when it comes to everybody else, not a clue. I don't know who my teammate is. I don't know who anybody else's teammate is. It's just like I say, I'm not segueing into his team. I'm just trying to perk his anxiety just a little bit more before I hope he gets relieved of it.
Indeed. And Kit, I'm seeing you in chat as well. If you just want to launch a prediction now for what team you're going to be in, it would be fun. Get your predictions in. What team is Kit ending up in? You've got about 30 seconds until we do the unveiling. But what do you expect from Kit this season then, in terms of a championship position and about how many points do you think he's going to be able to rack up?
Yeah, so that's how we should do it. Do his type his team in, and then where you think he's going to finish in the championship. Kit's not liking it, which is why I did it.
He really is not liking it. I would imagine Kit probably ending the season about say P11 or P12 on 25 to 30 points.
And that would be a very positive season for him. If he could
Indeed.
break into that top 10, that's a major success. That's what I would say would be the um what's the word? I keep missing my words here. Not the main goal because I don't want him to put pressure on himself, but like it's definitely not unobtainable. Definitely not.
No,
Especially with the pace I've
definitely
seen
not.
from him
Yeah.
recently, especially on this new game. But, just get up to the top half of that. Get up to the top of the bottom half, see where you are, like halfway through, see if you can actually break that top 10, and that'll be a massive success.
Indeed. So, Kit, you are going to be driving next season as well for Red Bull Racing.
Oh,
So it's a big difference
okay.
from the Haas that you are used to. Going straight into the Red Bull, no pressure at all. Uh, it's gonna be fun to have a bit of a change of scenery. I'm sure
I
going from a
mean,
dark car to another dark car is gonna be exciting. I'm sure.
I mean, the question is it the first seat or the second? Because that is the main thing here. If it's the first seat, it's a cheat code. If it's the second one, it- hopefully it's not a curse.
We'll wait and see. Yeah, indeed. If we get Yuki Tsunoda's car, he'll be down in P24 somewhere in 2027 when we have two more teams on the grid.
Yeah,
He'll be battling away
when
with the 2015 Marussia.
I'm sure every time he joins the lobby, he'll be going as quick as he can to pick Max Verstappen's car.
I imagine. So he's gonna be the new Wigan of the league straight in as soon as I open that lobby to get the Verstappen car. All right then, moving on from Kit to Noah 48, a driver, one of quite few, and this is gonna sound harsh, that for me took a step back this season, maybe in terms of performance or what we were expecting. I'm not by any way saying it was bad, but it wasn't what I believed it was going to be at the beginning.
I mean, he knows as well. Like he's still chasing that first win. That's the main goal for him. He's already said that. Like he wants to just get a win. Obviously, the more the merrier. But that first one, and I can understand where he's coming from. Obviously, we just saw earlier on this year, similar analogy, but not the same sport. But like Rory McIlroy in the Masters waited 11 years and then finally broke that curse. I think it's only a matter of time before he gets his first win. And I think every race where he's just fallen short is going to make that first win a lot sweeter. So,
Indeed, and it's gonna start feeling like a weight on your shoulder now as well when you're as good as Noah is, because he is very, very quick on his day as well. Uh, it's gonna be interesting to see what he can do in his new team, in his new outfit. Uh, just what he's gonna be able to do on this new game as well. If he's gonna be battling at the front, because I know a lot of the front guys have taken quite a big step forward on this new game, is my impression. Noah will have to follow that and improve further. Can he do that on this new game? It's a big leap that he's going to have to take. Could it take a while to see him get into the rhythm of things and maybe get used to battling at the front? Because that's a different type of racing as well than the midfield racing.
I mean, we've had obviously the pleasure of doing a lot of five lappers, quite a lot of us in the league. So, I mean, obviously yourself included.
Indeed.
He's definitely quick.
Yeah.
He's won quite a few of those five lappers with, say, me chasing him, and I couldn't get past him. Obviously, it's track dependent, of course. Obviously, the tracks that are much harder to overtake. I'm looking at Zandvoort reverse. Um, it's it's a different game, and he's clearly shown that he can defend as well and fairly. That's the main thing. He's very, very firm in his defense, but it's always fair. So he's quick. He can defend. I'm sure. I mean, personally, it it's a matter of when, not if, he wins. Like I obviously want it to be this season for him. I'm sure he really wants it to be this season as well. Um, I'm looking forward to how he drives. I want to see his improvement on track, not just in five lappers.
Indeed. Well then, the time has come. Noah 48, your team for season 10. I must say, a credit to you for the prediction, because you are heading to Racing Bulls for season 10. Uh, One of the best looking cars on the grid in a lot of people's opinion. I'm not quite convinced I share it, but it's not a bad looking car at all, is it? It's going to be interesting to see what he can do in it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously now we know I am not racing for RB this season, but during the five lappers, I just wanted to throw people off the scent of guessing my team. I use the RB quite a lot in those lobbies, and it's very nice. I'm not jealous, but it's more of a, it will help him more than it'll hinder him being in that car. It's very, very nice to drive, especially under um, situations where you don't have a lot of traction. And if you're capable of riding slides, it's very, very nice to drive. I'm looking at the final corner at Miami being the main um, reasoning behind that assessment. It's a very floaty corner, and that car rides it beautifully.
Indeed, so it's a brand new outfit for Noah 48, but could it be where he finally breaks into the top guys and start being a contender for race wins regularly? We'll wait and see. Noah 48 fan into that Racing Bulls. Next up then is a driver that we know very, very well. He's been with us from the start, and before that, it is Wigan 71. It is a driver who you just hate seeing him have a poor season, kind of like he did this season.
Yeah, I mean, my former teammate for many seasons, we shared a team's championship together. Um, he again, I say this a lot. He knows his ability. Car was awful that he had to drive last season, and I think whatever his next car is, obviously I don't know, but it will be an improvement, especially on this game anyway. And I
Indeed, and
know he'll always have.
Wigan has been very, very vocal about not enjoying that Alpine one a bit. So that'll be interesting to see how he's going to be able to perform in his new car. Uh, but I don't think he's going to be able to have another season like this. 36 points, I believe, in the end, if I'm not mistaken. 11th in the championship. And 11 in the championship. It's the first time in a long time we've seen Wigan on the right hand side of the table, and it's just not where a driver of his caliber should be.
Yeah, I mean he's one of the best teammates you can ask for as well. So it's it wasn't nice last season. I always try and keep tabs on where he is in the race, obviously, because it's that like Hamilton Bottas kind of teammate bond that we had when we were racing. We never spoke to each other, but we always knew how to play the team game in almost a telekinetic way. Like we just knew exactly when we needed to assist each other. It was brilliant. Obviously, it got to a point where um, we had to break that bond, but it was nice while it lasted. I always keep an eye on him during the races. It's again another situation of there's only upwards for him.
Indeed. So, Wigan 71, your car for season 10 is, I believe this is first as well. It might not be, but I believe it might be. Is Williams. Number 71, Wigan 71 from Sweden. They're in that bright blue and navy Williams car. Is going to be absolutely lovely to see you in. And hopefully, we're all praying for those results to improve as well. And also, must be said, 5 years now, 10 seasons in. Thank you so much for the dedication you put into this league, for the class act that you are. It is much appreciated.
Yep, never afraid to give us constructive feedback as well. It's always nice to get, you know, disagreements every now and again from a driver, just to show us where we might be going wrong. Because at the end of the day, so many leagues fall into this trap where it's too directed by the admin team and they don't tend to listen to the drivers, and it's nice having a driver that's been here for so long, has that trust. We have that trust with him, and obviously I hope I'm sure he has that trust with us as well. Um, just being able to give us, even if it's negative feedback, but every feedback is good feedback. And now, like I say, the only way's up in his driving, that new team, and as well that Williams. I've driven it quite a lot on time trial. It's gorgeous. It's really, really nice to drive again, like the RB. It's a similar kind of car. It's easy to to wring the neck out of it.
Indeed. Wigan into the Williams then for season 10. Thank you very much for 10 seasons consecutive of service as well. We absolutely love having you on. Next on to the chopping block then is our first new driver for this season, which is always fun, Matty, isn't it? Because it's so
Yeah.
hard to discuss anything. It's M. Reyna sporting the number 89. A friend of, or recruitment of Luna, should be said. I believe a friend of, don't quote me on that. Uh, it's just one of them where you go in not really knowing what to expect. Might have a baseline of, okay, about this pace, but really, it could be P1 or it could be P20.
Yeah, I mean, being able to race against AI is one thing. Like I've never um raced Emraner, so it's a complete unknown. Again, we have this every single reveal stream, complete unknown. Um, an AI difficulty is a baseline. Obviously, we have to get the AI difficulty of any new driver just to give us a gauge. But you could be 110 AI in your career mode and then jump into a league race and finish P20. It's a different race against real people versus AI. So I'm really excited to see where Emrainer comes, where they finish, how they drive as well. Do we have that similar um, sprinkle of volatility as well, but fair volatility? I'm excited for them.
Indeed, it's gonna be a fun watch, and definitely gonna be one of the drivers we watch most throughout the first couple of races, and especially testing, just to see what the baseline is. But then now, for the first time this stream, we are going to complete a teammate lineup as well. That's not been done before. It will be done now because Reina is joining Luna in that Sauber, and we have the first complete lineup on F1 25 Season 10 as well. And it really could be an exciting lineup. This from what I've heard about in Reina's pace, they're quite similarly paced, which means this could be a very very solid midfield team that every now and again breaks into the high scoring positions.
Yeah, it's also quite a similar situation to last season with me and Mr. Wilco. You bring a friend in, and then you're the teammate.
Indeed, and it's not. It is a coincidence, but again, it's not. And obviously, when I try to structure these teams, I try to structure them off creating good battles, good stories, good dynamics as well. It's why you and Wigan were teammates for so long. It's because you work together. We want that working together in the league. That's encouraged. We have voice channels for people to communicate with each other that we absolutely encourage them to use. Uh, and I really hope that this lineup as well, these two people, they know each other. They're going to be able to work off each other and hopefully bring Sauber even further up into the standings by using that fact.
Yeah, I mean, I think even before we knew that Emreina was racing for Sauber, let's face it, something has to go drastically wrong for Sauber to finish P10. I think it's the driver line is very, very strong, especially at the similar pace. That's going to be a high-end midfield team minimum, I reckon.
Yeah, I can't see Sauber having a bad season again. Commentators jinx. I'm not gonna say nothing about predictions, but I just can't see this being a poor season for either of them, especially Luna. But from Reina's won the team in total, I can't see it being a bad season.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Moving on then, we have the first completed lineup and moving on to Recon 21, sporting the new number of 3. Daniel Ricciardo's old number, and is that going to tell us something? We'll wait and see. Recon, who really shows glimmers of pace every now and again, but just has those underlying issues that take points finishes away quite regularly because the pace is there to be an upper midfield, maybe even top driver every now and again. Uh, but it just doesn't seem to convert in the end.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of races, he was quicker than me. The pace is definitely there. But again, like I said earlier in the stream, new game, new lease of life. This could be the game that changes it all. You know, like we've been craving a game like this for so long, and I think everybody's going to take a massive step up. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah,
F124 was it's been more of a continuation from previous games, whereas this one feels new, like completely new in every way, graphics, handling. To me, at least, it just feels new. I enjoy this game. I remember when F124 came out, and we probably only played what a couple of hours of it before the season started.
yeah, there was
I've
never
got
the same
30
hype
hours on
around
this
it.
game. Yeah, I've got
Indeed.
30 hours on this game now. Like I'm enjoying just being on time trial. I'm sure that's the same for everybody else, and I can only see improvements in every single driver here. So it depends obviously what the scale of that improvement is, and I'm sure Recon will probably know in himself what he's capable of and his skill improvement. Obviously, we can always make predictions, but then who knows whether the truth or not. I reckon again he's going to be that high end midfield. Again, he's going to be challenging Luna and Noah especially. Um, it's whether he can bridge that not massive gap on paper at the minute, but also we don't know what it's like this game between Noah and Zamo on Zamo's day. That's I think the main gap he's looking at breaking now.
Indeed. And I think the crucial thing about this midfield is just realizing the fact that I think this is so close that on one day you could be P9, P8. The next day you could genuinely, if we have a full lobby, you could be finishing P17, P18, and it's not the end of the world because I think that's how tight it is going to be moving from track to track. And then it's all about getting those consistent P10s. If you get a P10 every race this season, that's 18 points. If you get a P9 every race, it's even more. It's 30, my maths is all wrong. 36
Yeah,
points. Uh, it's a lot of points just finishing P9 every race. So if you can get those type of performances in regularly, then we're talking. And it's those type of performances that we kind of got to put in. It is those P8s, those P9s regularly in order to get his championship underway strong. And I think that's going to be crucial. His first 5 races, kind of an underlying tone for the rest of the season.
yeah. I mean, even if he shows issues in those first 5 races, there's plenty of time to, collect yourself, regroup, and go again.
Indeed, he's going to have time to do it. What time or what team is he going to have that time in though? 18 races, 19 weeks from now is going to be spent at Haas F1. Uh, it's going to be interesting. It's a good looking car. It's a car that, for me at least, has always been a favorite to drive. Obviously, I've league raced the Haas. A lot of my wins came in the Haas as well. Back when I was somehow winning league races, will take the legitimacy into of those leagues into question. Uh, but yeah, Recon in the Haas feels like a good fit, and it's just one of those teams where I think he could really break through as well. We've had successful Haas drivers in the past. I'm thinking Snocken especially came through from same midfield to start winning races over the course of a couple of weeks. And hopefully we can see that rate of improvement from Recon as well in the Haas. Just get himself up the field. It's a no pressure environment really, and just take charge of that team, which I hope he will, and just go for it.
Yeah, I think that's the 2 words. Sorry, the 3 words. Just go for it. Like, what is there really to lose? It's your second full season. You've shown you're fast. Just, just have fun. I think that's the main thing. The more
Yeah,
fun you have, the higher you'll finish.
indeed. It's a new season for Recon. He's going to be hoping to get himself further up the standings, and I absolutely think he will. It'll be a close midfield battle. We'll see how he comes out of it. Moving on then to Samo Bamo 25. And this is a driver that's going to be interesting to watch this season. Judging of how much he improved last season, the sky's the limit for Samo.
Yeah, And I completely agree. Like, it's a similar thing with Tariq. Just go for it. Just don't have any doubts in yourself. Don't worry about other drivers around you. Just just go for it, and you'll only have like good things come out of it. I'm 100% sure.
Indeed, for Samo, I think what he's got to be prepared for as well, if is that this season really could go at the beginning at least either way. It could be a brilliant success for him, or he could have a really difficult time judging what drivers he has around them, how quick they are on this game. If he's not taking a massive step up on this game, he could find himself down a couple of positions on the start. He can't get discouraged by that. He's just got to continue going at it. Uh, it could be a very good start to the season, or it could be a tough start for Samo Bamo. We'll wait and see. Uh,
Yeah, I mean,
Sky's the limit, but it's also very easy to fall down, especially launching into a new game like this.
yeah, I remember when we raced in Ferrari together in season eight. I'm not going to mention this advice because obviously it gives everyone else the same advice, but I'm sure he remembers it. Um, just use that bit of advice. The only good things will come if you, if, in my opinion, if you use that bit of advice. It's a lack of it involves a lack of stress, really.
Indeed. Right then, do you reckon we display Samo's team then for everyone to see? I'm gonna
I'm
say
sure he's
as
itching
well,
for it.
indeed, I'm gonna say, Matty, you'll be able to give him plenty of advice. He is joining you in that Alpine. Sam Obama 25 is joining Matty Adam 98 in the Alpine for season 10. And again, it's just a lineup that's going to be really, really fun to watch.
Round two. Let's get it, mate. Let's have it. I'm excited. I'm excited now.
Indeed, Ray seemingly very, very excited in chat as well. Ray is Samo. For those of you who aren't watching this on Twitch, they're watching it post stream. That is Samo going crazy in chat, seeing he's in the Alpine along with Matty as well. It's a nice looking team that Matty and Samo in the Alpine. Let's see what kind of leap forward he can take heading into season 10. Moving on then to the last time we're gonna have to deal with this, Matty. It's another new driver that we know nothing about. It is Holman sporting the number 88. Uh, Again, it's a complete unknown, but he's being vouched for by a certain Ondracek, which could be incredibly scary.
Yeah, I mean, I have to disagree with something that you said just a couple of seconds ago. I have a little bit of representative racing against him in the five lappers,
This is
and he
interesting
is
because I've
quick.
not been on those five lappers.
He is quick. There's there is pace there to be tapped into. Now, however, the environment from the five lappers to a new era event is different. There's a lot more pressure in a new era event. That's the unknown. I think whether he will be able to cope with that pressure. I'm not saying obviously he won't. I'm not saying it's difficult to, but there have been some people in the past where it's just gotten a bit too much for them, and you know similar to any rookie. Well, I say rookie. They could have 15 years of Formula One game experience, but rookie in the league. Um, just similar to the advice that we gave Recon and Zamo, just go for it. Enjoy this first season, get some points in, just have a load of fun, and then attack, attack, attack in your next. Well, not even in the next seasons. If you've got really good pace, attack straight away, but just have fun. That's the main thing.
Indeed, this is going to be an interesting watch indeed. Especially, obviously, I didn't know about that pace, which makes me look forward to this even more, and especially testing coming up just in about 23-hour span now. Sorry, 24-hour span before we get testing underway. But then, Holman is going to be driving his first season in NEF1 for Aston Martin Racing, sporting the check flag in number 88. Feels like a good fit straight from the get-go. We'll see how he handles that environment, that car, Mercedes engine, and his teammate that announced in a little bit of time as well. But it's just going to be a fun watch, this.
Yeah, another not 100% unknown, but still an unknown. I'm excited. My former team as well, so um, enjoy the car. It is nice. I'm excited to see what you do with it.
Indeed. So Holman to Aston Martin then. Next in line is a driver that he usually gets quite a bit of stick from me. I'm sorry,
I already know.
I'm not gonna be able to hold back on it this season. ABT 33 61 74, sporting the number 49, and maybe coming off of his worst season in the F1 to date now. Surely cannot get any worse for BT this season. It surely cannot. Judging from the potential we know he has, the pace we know he has, he's won races, he's gotten pole positions, he's done it recently as well. It's on either last game or F1 23, wasn't it? I'm thinking Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. He's done a brilliant strategy in the rain in Miami. He's got the potential, he's got the pace, he's got the racecraft. He just cannot keep it together for a race and for a full length season to get those types of results in. And yeah, for a beat, it really is a season now where he's got to show a bit more. He's better than the 16 points that he got last season.
I mean, yeah, he's so much better. Um, obviously, I've had the pleasure of racing with him for nearly 10 seasons now. Obviously, it was quite late on into season one when he first came in. But I want to put it, he's so scary when he's really quick as well.
Indeed.
When he's fully on his day. I remember the season three opener at Silverstone, and I finished second that race. I could not touch him, and 2021 was my game. Like that 2021 was my baby. I loved that game and how every car handled. Obviously, I was in the Haas. You liked that Haas, I did not, but still, like I could not get anywhere near him, especially that race. And that's where that's his potential. Just pacing off into the distance. Like I think I mentioned this and I put a stream clip into the driver chat. He does almost have a, a gravitational pull for incidents that
Yeah.
aren't his fault, and it's just so unlucky. But that's the main hindrance. If he can just, I'd say this, it probably sounds a bit counterintuitive, but race more cautious. Just don't. I mean, not saying he's going for the moves, but just race like you've got a Zorb ball around you a little bit, and just try and stay away from people. People will fall off around you. That's how it works a lot of the time. You've just got to keep keep your car in a straight line, keep it on track. Other people will have mistakes, and you will gain positions.
I think for BT at this stage of how last season was, he needs to have a confidence builder. He needs to have 3, 4 races in a row inside the points, P8s, P7s, P9s, even maybe, to just start building up that confidence that, okay, I can keep with this, guys. I won't make mistakes. I won't get caught up in an incident. I won't do anything by myself, which he rarely does. Uh, but yeah, ABT just needs to build up that confidence, and there's a damn good driver underneath all that.
Yeah, 100%. And look, I'm not speaking for ABT here, but I'm speaking just off my personal opinion. It's to me, it seems like it's definitely confidence related.
Yeah,
And like you said earlier, just consistent P9s, consistent P8s. You're in the top half of the championship, quite literally. That's all. That's all he needs, and he's there. It's just that little push, just that one place extra, and he'll do so much better.
indeed. I think for Beatty this season, though, go in with the expectations of there is no pressure to perform.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just the exact same
It is start
bit
from
of advice
scratch,
that I'd throw at him.
rebuild yourself, just completely forget about what has been, and just start anew. And I think if Beatty can handle that well, he has the potential to be one of the absolute top guys in the league.
Yeah, it's not the last time I'm going to use this advice, but it's just another one. Just go for it. Just
Indeed.
enjoy it. Enjoy this new game because it is so enjoyable and results.
The results will come. The results will come. Well then, ABT on this new game then is going to be racing in the McLaren, which is going to be, if hopefully, that right fit that he's been wanting for quite a while now. It feels like a good fit. How will he perform in it? We'll wait and see. But I'm going into this with the expectation that it will be an improvement. As to
Yeah,
how
I
much an
mean,
improvement it'll be, we'll wait and see. But as previously said, hopefully it creates a no pressure environment for BT to perform, and they'll just be able to focus on those small details to clean up a season.
yeah, and it's another car that I've driven quite a bit of in this game so far, and it even when you're not in that car, it commands respect. Like there's always you don't fight a McLaren on track and disrespect it. Do you know what I mean? Like the people will think twice. Let's put it that way. When trying to fight him, he'll defend really well, and that car just instills confidence as well. It's such a nice car to drive.
Indeed, if I've done a couple of laps around, it feels really, really good. So, BT definitely one of my drivers that I want to that I'm gonna be rooting for. If I can root for people as a
Oh yeah, hundred
commentator, I
percent.
will. Definitely gonna be rooting for BT this season. Moving on then, and I believe we've gotten to a point now where we will just be closing driver lineups now, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we can open any new ones. I think McLaren now was the last one. So now we'll be starting to close driver lineups, everyone. Oh, that's a shout from ABT as well. The last time he was in McLaren, they won the Constructors' Championship.
Yep. Well, there you go. It wasn't what you were probably thinking when you put him in the McLaren, but
It really was
there you
not.
go. Just right there, just in the way I can read that text that he's put, he's got confidence already, or at least it's a boost. You know what I mean?
Indeed. Indeed. So, ABT back into the McLaren. Moving on then, we are heading to SFLY Jmar Jr., two Canadian British drivers in a row then. And this is a driver who he's so on it when he's on it. Then he just has these off days when he's really nowhere to be found. But when he's on it, he's properly there.
Yep. And another driver with that really fun and entertaining sprinkle of volatility as well in his driving. He's a very very um on it defender when it comes to defending positions. Trust me, I know. Especially last season, I had quite a few, not run-ins, but tense situations where you get squeezed to the absolute limit. We get through it, of course. You know, we have that respect with each other, but it's always a difficult battle when you come to battle SFL JML Jr. And I'm so excited for him again for this season. And what team he's in, obviously, again, I don't know, and I'm looking forward to it.
Indeed. Should we get straight on with it? SFLY Junior, SFLY Jmar Jr. I tried to combine Jmar and Junior there. It's a sign of me getting a bit tired, but we'll push on. We got a couple of drivers left to go. 8, I believe. Jmar then expectation a little bit better than this season. Championship standings wise, maybe around where he is will still be a very, very good result. He'll be trying to push on a bit further though.
Yeah, again, just eyes to the sky again. Like another have fun situation. Just enjoy this season. Don't let things get to your head. Just enjoy it, and whatever happens, happens.
Indeed. However, he is being thrown a bit into the deep end now in a team that could be. Jmar could be under pressure to perform here. Let's just say that. Because he has got potentially the quickest teammate on the grid. He is joining Ferrari, is SFLY Jmar Jr. alongside Squidge 2017 for what could be, if I'm not mistaken, Jmar's first proper go at a Constructors' Championship. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe it could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming into his ninth season now. I think this is his genuine first chance. Not well, not first chance, but like first at the reveal stream, pretty big chance.
I think it's the first time where I think it's the first time where we expect him to be battling for a championship, at least constructors wise. But that is the pressure now. He's going to be expected by his teammate to score points. And that could
Yep,
be a difficult
and
situation to be in. If those
I
points don't come, there is going to be a sense of frustration within Ferrari.
yeah, I also just 100% know that Squidge is going to be um deploying all manner of tactics with Chainmail to become an absolute roadblock. So in a way, I'm not looking forward to it, but as a driver, but yeah, there's going to be some tasty moments with this pairing, 100%.
Indeed, it's going to be a fun one to watch. Jamar seemingly very, very, very happy with his team as well, which we love to see. I feel like everyone's been relatively happy with what I've cooked up so far.
Yeah,
There's a couple of seats left to go, so we'll see how everyone feel about them.
that's another thing. Um, Another football analogy. This could be the Dark Arts team, and obviously
I'm
the
si-
football
I'm I'm
fans in
sitting I'm
the chat
sitting here
will
as a
know what I
Swedish
mean.
ice hockey fan, just not knowing what you're talking about. But I'm sure it's a
Football
brilliant
fan,
analogy, Matty.
football
I'm sure
fans
it's a
know what the
brilliant
Dark
analogy.
Arts are. Football fans know what the Dark Arts are, and that's my prediction. They're going to be the Dark Arts team.
Yeah, Matty,
They're
that's
gonna
some
they're gonna cause so many people frustration, and it's
yeah
gonna be brilliant for you to
yeah.
especially commentate on.
Oh yeah, Matty, that is a brilliant soccer analogy. Let's move on. Next driver on the field
Soccer.
on the chopping block is going to be Ondercheck 51, one-time NEF1 champion, and again he'll be expected to win a championship.
Yeah, he's gonna go for that number two, 100%.
Yeah, and that is just the level of expectation you need to put on a driver that is this good. He
Yeah,
he will need to be leading his team. He will need to be fighting for the championship, and he'll need to win races. That's the level of expectation that you have as an NEF1 champion.
yeah, 100%. Like winning is the key. And he's won so many. He's won so many in a row as well, not too long ago. So yeah, I think it's I wouldn't call it a minimum expectation, but it's definitely a big expectation.
Indeed, and obviously just coming off the form that he had at the end of last season as well, not winning too many races in his return, but just consistently up there scoring points. It could be massive. We'll wait and see with Wondercheck, but I'm expecting good things.
Yeah, I am as well, 100%.
All right then. So where is he heading? He's going to be heading in. Can we agree on this? Into any team that he joins as the team leader. He should be taking command of any team he joins. But I think there's going to be quite an interesting dynamic as well because I think the driver who's going to who's going to be his teammate is getting ready to take that team leading role as well. So this could be an interesting dynamic, especially if Ondrzejczyk has a bit of a difficult start to the season. We'll wait and see. He is going to be joining Noah in that racing bull, and this is going to be a very, very tasty lineup to watch.
Yeah, that is a strong team. That's very strong. There's going to be a lot of points. A team's championship chance as well. That's exciting.
Indeed, and also worth pointing out now, just going back to Noah as well, this will also be probably his best opportunity now to fight for a championship as well with Ondrzejczyk alongside him. They'll be able to help each other quite happily, I would assume. And Ondrzejczyk has showed this last season he's very able to play the team game, can put the ego that every racer really should have that ego. He can put that aside and help out his teammate if need be. I'm looking forward to this one. It's gonna be good. Ondrzejczyk, one of my favorites for the season, absolutely. And in that Racing Bulls, he's gonna look damn good doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with Ondrzejczyk, he's going to look good in whatever car you put him in. Like, there's always, like I say, there's that expectation. Um, I can only see a good season again.
Indeed, I'm really looking forward to this one. Meaning we have a battle at the moment of Ferrari with Squidge and Jamar. We have an Alpine of yourself and Samo, and we have an RB of Ondrzejczyk and Noah. That's quite an interesting battle, isn't it?
Yeah, like I say, um, it's going to be a very nice front run into midfield battle because that's what it is. Like the top 5 teams are capable. That's what we love.
Indeed. Indeed. Right then, moving on from Ondersek, we're heading to another driver that had a difficult season last season, where I really expected more, but he he is prone to a season like this. That's Darren Style, who never really got running in throughout the entire season. He never really got up to those performances that he showed he was capable of the season before. And with Darren, I think as well, this is now a situation where he to do where he just resets and go in without expectations, without pressure, and just
Yeah, I
go for
mean,
it.
not too long ago, he was the breakout driver. He's got that ability. Um, Obviously he knows, he knows again what he's capable of, what he can do. Just like you said, just to mirror that, just again go in it with no expectation. Just do your best, and the rewards will come for it.
Indeed, worth pointing out, Darren was in that Sauber. It's notoriously tricky. Did that have anything to do with it? I know Emrain and Luna are not going to be liking this talk. And no one's made it work. Was that a problem for Darren Stahl? It could have been. It really could have been the car.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, only he knows. We didn't actually get that much feedback on what that car was like from him, so could be. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say. Just go in it again, reset, forget last season, just go in and just do your bit, and yeah, the positive results will come.
Indeed. So, looking at Darren Style, he will be partnering his former teammate and still current teammate ABT in that McLaren. It's a switch up from Sauber to McLaren for that lineup, which I think is a very, very good lineup, so it's going to be fun. And I think
Yeah,
this is a lineup that it should be able to help themselves propel forwards.
yeah. I mean, again, they've got a teammate synergy now. They've done it for a season. They can go up. That's what I mean. If they just perform without expectation, the both of them, and play that team game, that's the main thing, especially in that position. And with that little expectation on yourselves, just work as the hard like I want to put it, work as the best teammate dynamic, and the results will come.
Indeed, indeed. So Darren Style alongside ABT in the McLaren. It's a team that really it, it could go either way for this team. I could see it. It could go really well, or it could be a very, very tough season for them.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely there's definitely an air of a 50-50 chance with them.
Indeed. We'll wait and see then. But Darren Style alongside ABT once again in McLaren this time. Moving on then to your former teammate, no longer, however, Mr. Wilco 99 going into his second season in New Era. I'll let you take the reins on this one. What do you think we can expect from Mr. Wilco now in his second year?
Um, just improving. Obviously he had quite a bit of time off the F1 games, so he came back. He didn't have the highest level of confidence at the start of last season, but he built on it. He tried his best. He got higher and higher up on the grid, and He's worked damn hard, and that hard work's going to pay off again. Like there's just so much potential there. Obviously, I've known him since school, so I used to race with him when we were kids on the older F1 games. Like he's so capable. He will climb up the ranks.
Indeed, and for Mr. Wilco, it feels like from when I've raced him, it feels like he has made those improvements heading into this game as well, to just take that step forward as well on this game. And I really hope he can. He's a very, very likable chap, isn't he? When you speak to him as well,
Yeah,
Mr. Wilco. I'm really looking forward to what he's going to be able to do. And this is going to be an interesting teammate dynamic as well. We'll get into that in just a moment. This is one where the early race is going to decide, really, I think, the course of the season. Maybe with a little bit of confidence. Is one where either really could end up being the leading driver, because Mr. Wilco is going to be joining Recon in Haas.
Okay.
And as said, it's a lineup where either driver, they feel very, very equal heading onto this season.
Yeah, I mean, with the fastest pace that Recon showed last season, obviously he's only got improvements to make, and it's the same. Like there's there's a high ceiling for the pair of them, and it's a similar story. Work really hard as a team. That's my main advice. Communicate with each other, um, plot your strategies, just proper hone in that teammate synergy, and it should come good.
Indeed, I'm really looking forward to see this teammate dynamic, and especially Mr. Wilco as well. One of the drivers I'm mostly going to look at this season probably is Mr. Wilco, as to how he just performs, the results he's going to be able to put in. Uh, I'm expecting good things from Mr. Wilco this year. Definite
Yeah,
improve, definite. It should be one to break out stars.
yeah, 100%.
All right then, moving on, and we're seeing speculation in chat now that we're
Yeah,
coming to a close, but there's still 4 drivers left to be revealed. 1 returning driver as well, along with 3 from last season. So, still a lot that can happen. Next driver up on the chopping block is Hybrid 472K, a driver that left quite early last season, came back, but just wasn't able to find form.
yeah. I think the time away probably didn't help, but
I
you know,
definitely
it's a
didn't.
yeah. It's just there's going to be quite a few of these same stories going into next season of just going with zero expectation and just do your best. And again, like it'll only take. This is more than possible. It'll only take other drivers to make mistakes, and
Yeah,
then you're in that perfect position. So it's just work with the conditions around you, take advantage, but also don't think too much. I think that's another key thing. Not thinking too much will let things get to you. Just that zero expectation side of it.
indeed. I think looking at Hybrid's previous result has been somewhere between, say, 25 to 50 points. I reckon we should be expecting probably a 21, 22 point season maybe for Hybrid. Feels quite good to get him out of that bottom scrap, you would imagine.
Yeah.
But still, a bit towards the back maybe for Hybrid this season is what I'm imagining. Not having seen too much of his pace. Do you reckon that's a fair assessment?
Um, for now, off previous seasons, yes, but who knows? Like I say, new game, new life. You know what I mean? There's gonna be wild cards, I think.
Indeed. So then, Hybrid 472K is joining Red Bull Racing for next season alongside Kit W41. Again, it's a driver lineup that very well could help each other propel further up the grid. And a team like Red Bull as well. It's a team that has done well in NEF1 in the past. It's an easy car to get a handle of for most people, not me, but most people seem to enjoy it. So that's kind of what I based that off. Hybrid 472K along with Kit, a team that maybe we're expecting a bit further towards the back, but that just means again it's pressure off, and it really could go either way for this team.
Yeah, I mean, I do sound like a broken record a bit, but again, it's the teammate synergy. Just that's what's going to separate a good performance from a bad one, especially when it comes to other teams, because some teams don't communicate, and where their shortcomings will happen, that's where people that work as a team will take advantage.
Indeed. So, a Red Bull lineup of Hybrid and Kit. We now have 3 drivers to go, 3 lineups to complete. That is Aston Martin, Williams, and Mercedes still awaiting their drivers, if I'm not mistaken, but I believe I'm right about that.
Hmm. You made the
Uh,
slideshow.
Indeed, I made the slides, but I've not memorized them, Matty. So let's keep me honest here. We'll see if it goes well. Moving on, then, the next driver is going to be Macus 97, sporting number 36. This is a returning driver to
Yeah.
NEF1 that did very, very all right when he was in his last stint. A couple of good performances, a couple of more difficult ones. I'm expecting this to be a much improved version of Macca's that's coming back into New Era with a different type of energy now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously to us he's not an unknown, but to quite a few drivers in this league he is. So it's going to be a nice showing, and I'm looking forward to having him back. I'm sure he's looking forward to being back as well. It's going
Indeed,
to be cool to watch him drive again.
indeed, and even though he's been New Era before, we don't have a massive work sample of Macca's to really go off. It's about 10, 15 at tops a season uh, of races worth for Macca's. So we'll see how he gets on. Uh, this is going to be an interesting lineup then. He is joining Holman in the Aston Martin for a brand new lineup, should be said, for that outfit. And judging from what you're saying of Holman and from the feeling I've got of Mackes, this could genuinely be a team competing at the very sharp end.
Yeah, the midfield battle is going to be very tasty. I mean, it was tasty last season, but I think there's even more potential for it to be even closer this season. I'm talking at the end of the season, it could be say fourth, fifth, and sixth is separated by a point each. Genuinely, like it could be that close.
Indeed, Mackes and Holman. It's an interesting lineup to watch. Mackes, he's gonna be going into that with something to prove. Having been in this league before, having raced a couple of you guys before. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about Iwatts. I'm talking about Wigan Djokovic, to name a few. Then he's got a bit more experience than Holman in that situation. It's not a lot. He's not going to prove for too much. The first couple of races are going to be crucial because I don't think those two are going to really start playing the teammate game the first thing they do. I reckon it's going to be pretty gloves off with each other to try to establish that I'm the number one.
Yes, see where the pecking order is, and then afterwards, that's when you probably start playing the team game. But I mean, personally, I would always encourage playing the team game straight away, especially in F1 league racing. Obviously, real life F1's a bit different, but um, in league racing, team working as a team could definitely win you a championship.
Indeed. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic, this Mackers and Holman. Moving on then to a driver that over the last couple of seasons for me, even if it's not really showing on the result boards, that's just judging how competitive the league has been. This is a driver that's just been on a massive resurgence for the last 2 seasons for me. That is Iwatts, who's just impressing me more and more and more now. Every single, I say, he takes a big step forward every quarter of a season. And really, he was one of the better drivers at the last quarter of this season. He was probably amongst my top five.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's just getting over the backache now from last season, but we're looking at an improving driver again, and from my experience, I've this will be my 11th season racing against him in this league's lifetime, previous names and all. Former championship rivals as well. In real life, it's seeing him improve again is just brilliant.
Indeed, and I reckon Iwatts is one of those drivers that is going to take a step forward on this game as well. I can't see him moving backwards on a new game cycle with the resurgence that he's had. P3 in his last race as well. It's worth pointing out. Thank you, Tess, for the information. Uh,
Yeah,
and you're just starting to see those podiums, the contention for wins, the actual wins,
yeah,
start creeping up. It's one or two really good results every season after Iwatts, which that's 40 points on its own. Those two good results. That's 35, 40, maybe even 45 points. Just two really strong results. And
yeah,
if you can keep doing that, that's that's half the points you need to be straight up there immediately.
yeah, exactly. So it's two results, and you're in the top half of the championship. Like
Indeed,
it's
and I
it's
think with
mad.
Iwatts, without jinxing, it feels like he's almost guaranteed to get those results at this point. He just finds himself there. He races so smart. He doesn't get caught up in stuff. He doesn't battle unnecessarily. He doesn't get caught up with incidents. He just lets the race come to him in a beautiful way, and we saw that in Qatar a couple of seasons ago as well, where he unfortunately got collected. But he was battling for a win at the end when really you're not seeing him for an entire race, and that is a skill set that's actually really difficult to learn, and that is just pure experience from this league.
Yeah, I've always said he's the smartest driver on the grid. That like when it comes to actual wheel knowledge, do you know what I mean? Like racecraft and everything like that. The only thing that lets him down, and I'll keep telling him this, is the pad. Get a wheel.
We'll see when that time inevitably comes. Noah pointing out we've been on for over 2 hours. Matty, I'd say a big congratulations to us for that accomplishment.
Yeah, that is a good thing.
Yep, I'm very proud of us actually.
Yeah, I am too. It is the longest reveal stream we've done.
It's
I don't,
also season
it's
10.
not the longest by much. Yeah, that's what I mean. We've got a lot. We've got such a bigger excuse to drag this stream on.
Yeah, don't worry, Noah. We've still got a couple of slides to go. Don't worry about it. I've
Hmm.
55 slides in total we've got to go through.
Hmm.
We've gone through most of them, but not all of them yet. iWatts then, as predicted in chat, is joining Tess for round two in that Mercedes. Their second go at the championship in a new team then. It's a fun dynamic, it's a good dynamic, and I think it's going to be very, very effective on this game as well.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, I'm actually kind of surprised that we've continued with Tez and iWatts. I genuinely thought that there were going to be different teams, but it's another scary team on paper. Like they can work. They're really good team players, and obviously I wasn't in their calls during the race because that would be highly illegal in the league rules. But um, you just know that it's pure strategy, and I'm excited for it again to race against them as teammates again.
Indeed. Cy Watts and Tess lining up for the second go at the Constructors' Championship, and it's going to be an interesting watch. That leaves one driver, and statistically the most successful driver in any F1 history. It is Djokovic, coming off his most difficult season, however. On a game where he has been champion, he had a difficult second half to the game cycle and actually ended season 9 winless. And I really couldn't have seen that coming. He got so close, he got to within a sector of that race win until Tess was rude enough to snatch it away from him. Uh, but Djokovic is one of those drivers that I could just see becoming a monster on this game as well.
Yeah, he's definitely got a point to prove, hasn't he?
Yeah,
It's it's a man on a mission, and when Djokovic is on a mission, he's very, very, very scary. He's three-time champion for a reason.
indeed. No one has won more races. No one's won more championships. I would imagine no one has more pole positions. I don't think
Mm.
anyone's as good on a race start as he is, and that is going to pay dividends on this game where I think it could be a bit more difficult to overtake as well. Djokovic, for me, is a driver that has a lot of strengths that are going to correlate very, very well into a season like this as well.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
So, Djokovic, you would have been able to predict this potentially at the quite early on in the stream. He is going to Williams alongside Wiggins 71. If it isn't broken, do not fix it. It's a good lineup. It's a consistent lineup. It is one that has won championships in the past, and it is going on still. Djokovic and Wiggin, Williams for season 10.
Yeah, need I say any more?
You
Like,
really don't.
yeah, exactly. I think it doesn't need an introduction. It doesn't. We know that this teammate partnership is one of the best we've seen.
It is one of those partnerships that just works really, really well when both drivers are on their day. There's there's a clear hierarchy as well. Wiggins has never been able to really take it to Djokovic. Uh, but again, he probably doesn't really try to as well. Djokovic is the one who's bringing the race wins in. Wiggins doing everything possible to just help the team and just grab as many points for himself as possible. And that's why it works so well. It's a very, very effective dynamic. Djokovic
Yep.
and Wigan, obviously family related as well, helps out with their relations. They're not going to be fighting each other over a bad strategy potentially. No, they're quite northern, so you don't know with the northern temperament how it is. But I would imagine it is really, really harmonious, that team as well. So it's going to be fun to see what Djokovic can do alongside Wigan now. Could we see those 4 championship stars on Djokovic's name at the end of this season? It would be crazy if we did, but I would not rule it out.
Yeah, of course you can never rule him out.
So then, that are the full lineups for season 10, everybody. It's been quite a while. It's been 2 hours. But there you got them on screen now, all of them in the same place. We have Williams Racing, consisting of Djokovic and Wigan. We have Red Bull with Kit and Hybrid. We have Ferrari with Squidge 2017 and that's followed by Jamar. We have Aston Martin, that is Mackerts and Holman. We have Alpine, Matty Adam 98 and Samo Bamo 25. Racing Bulls consist of Ondricek and Noah 48. McLaren consists of ABT and Darren Style. Haas F1 is Recon and Mr. Wilco. Mercedes keeping the lineup of Tess and Iwatts carried over from last season. And Sauber is Luna and Reina. For what I think, just on paper, is the best grid we've ever had.
Yeah, for the start of the season, looking to what the potential is for all these drivers and the unknowns. Yeah, it definitely looks the most competitive. I know we say every single season it's going to be extremely close. It's the trope, but it's true. When you look at things like this at the start of the season, it's so exciting. You think it's going to be extremely close. And I actually, this time, I genuinely think we could be on the cards for the most competitive season we've ever had.
I really, really hope so. It's a long way to go until we start seeing dynamics shape up. But in 24 hours, we'll have some answer because we'll be done with an hour worth of testing around Abu Dhabi, if I'm not mistaken, if my mind doesn't let me down, which is going to be very, very
No, no,
interesting
correct.
indeed.
For
So,
pre-season testing as well, Tez, I've got your sandbags on order.
oh my God, here we go. Okay, so there are your lineups, and here is your Drivers' Championship graphic for Season 10 as well. Revised with lighter blue and yellow instead of navy and gold. New logos on there. It's a brand new look for NEF1 in total. Shout out to all our previous champions at the bottom as well. Danny DC, Matty Adam 98, Djokovic, Gaitse, Gonzo, Djokovic again, followed by Ondricek, Djokovic for the 3rd time, and Tess as our most recent champion. One driver is going to fill in that slot at the back of that line of prestigious drivers. Oh, and it could be quite a fair few of them in contention for this one. I'm really looking forward to Season 10, Matty.
Yeah, there's at least 4 drivers that have a chance, I think, at least.
Indeed. So we'll wait and see how the season goes on. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed. Okay, so that's 2 hours and 10 minutes worth of presenting. I'm quite happy with how we've handled this.
Yep, this could be our first episode of the NEF1 podcast.
Indeed, it could. But speaking about that NEF1 podcast, well, what's going on with that? Well, it's one of those things we've just been discussing on and off for years, but it's just never happened.
I mean, I have a podcast microphone now as well.
I don't, but it
could be
might
something we
genuinely
do.
be time for me to invest in one. Would anyone be interested in any F1 podcast? Me and Matty potentially just spewing talk about real life Formula One. Is that anything that would intrigue any of you per se? We'll wait and see. But I think it's clear that you and I actually can carry a conversation.
Yeah, 100%. And just following that little pointer, Squidge has very nicely put into the Twitch chat. He wants our prediction. And this is going to be another conversation now. So it's going to drag the stream on just that little bit longer. What's your prediction then, Savars, for the season? Who do you think is going to get on top? Championship favourite, Constructors' Championship favourite? For the first World Championship?
This is just going to be a commentator's curse, potentially, which is why I don't like laying it on anyone. But we're going to do it regardless. I reckon we have, at the end of 18 races in New Era, we have Ondricek as a 2-time NEF1 champion. with a Matty Adam in P2, just a couple of points behind. It will go down to a decider in Abu Dhabi. It will be decided in the last couple of laps with a Tess in P3, Squidge just behind in P4, Djokovic in P5, but they'll be separated by a maximum of 30 to 50 points. The entirety of the top five is not going to be much.
Okay, my prediction is not the same as yours. So, for me, I think it's only logical to go with the previous drivers' champion as the favourite for the next drivers' championship. I think Tess is going to get that second star. Now, as for P2 and P3, I will always like to think I will weasel my way into that P3 and prevent you from choosing a team for me. And I
You're
reckon
terrified of that
I
thought,
am.
aren't you?
I am because I just have a feeling I know where you're going to put me. But I would. It's going to be a very, very close battle for P3, I think. Um, but it's going to be between, I reckon, myself, Squidge, Ondrechek, and Djokovic.
It is going to be a very, very interesting championship. It is going to be a very interesting championship.
Tez says first to do back-to-back championships. Who says no? I don't say no. It's possible.
I'm
You
not saying no
you are the
either.
previous drivers' champion, so it's like I said before. It's only logical that I would carry that into the next prediction for the next season of you becoming the two-time champion.
It's going to be fun to watch these dynamic play out. All right, chat. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up? Any other takes you want us to just throw wildly out there to see how wrong we are? Come a couple of races, or are you all sick of us just sitting here talking? We have lost quite a couple of viewers now that we're done. Squidge is saying constructor championship. I'm not even gonna try. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to try to predict that.
Yeah, it's the
It
lineups are
is
extremely
so
strong, so
incredibly
it's yeah.
open that it's too unpredictable right now.
Yeah, the drivers' championship is definitely a lot easier to have a sense of a prediction than the team's championship.
Indeed. But then, I I think that's got to be the end, Matty, isn't it? We got to let everyone go to bed. We'll be back in less than 24 hours as well for more NEF1 content, mind you, when we get this party started on track.
Yep, I am looking forward to getting some laps under my belt. I mean, I've got quite a lot of it already, but some actual practice session laps which I've not really done.
Indeed. So, before everyone head off, quite a couple of people have signed up to be co-commentators for tomorrow. If you still want to, you will have to get some version of Xbox. What's it called? Xbox Game Bar.
Yeah,
Uh,
again, so on
yeah.
PC, that's the Xbox Game Bar. Um, I'm pretty sure you can download it through the Xbox app. I could be wrong. Just double check Microsoft. And on your mobile device, it will be the Xbox app. Obviously, we need to make sure that you have an Xbox Live account. I don't actually think you have to pay them now,
No,
just to be able to talk in a party. You
I
don't
don't
actually
think
have to
so.
pay. So yeah, when you join the party with Savage, you'll get a little checkbox. I'm not actually sure where that'll be on the mobile app, but on Game Bar and in Xbox Party Chat, it will be a checkbox at the top of the party chat, asking if you would like to include your audio in the broadcast. That needs to be checked for you to be heard on stream.
Indeed. So that is the procedure. It's a bit more complicated than what we were hoping for, but unfortunately, that is the way it is with me being on Xbox and all. But then, I reckon that is going to be it for this Season 10 reveal stream. Gone well past 2 hours and 15 minutes now that we're coming to an end.
Yeah.
Matty, again, thank you so much for joining me for this. It's always a pleasure, and you almost wish we did shorter seasons so we could do this more often and just mess a bit with people by dragging these
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
2 hours and 15 minutes. It's our best effort to date.
Yeah, I think we're both seen as pretty devious. So it's nice to mess with people's heads, put people on edge, and pique people's anxiety a little bit, like we did with Kit today. But yeah, thanks for having me again. It's always a pleasure. Um, yeah, I cannot tell you how much I am looking forward to this season. And the massive challenge that lies ahead as well.
Indeed, it is going to be a hell of a season to watch. So don't miss out on that. We'll be back in less than 24 hours' time, 23 hours to be exact, for the first hour of preseason testing around Abu Dhabi on F1 25. Don't miss out. We'll be back in a couple of hours. Again, Matty, thank you so much for joining me once again. This has been the NEF1 Season 10 launch stream. Every driver, every team has been unveiled. The calendar is uploaded and done. We will see you in 23 hours for the first day of NEF1 testing. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and good night.
Peace out.